everyone, and thank you for joining me again today. My name is Tracy Muse, and I've brought you all here to ponder with me a question, a choice, between liberty or tyranny. Seems like a pretty silly choice, right? Who'd want tyranny? Well, I think you'd be surprised by the answer. Tyranny is defined simply by being the absolute power of government, whereas liberty is defined as being the ability for one to govern his or herself. Political parties on the left and the right seem to have trouble defining liberty without tyranny intertwined. On the left side of the political spectrum, you have people that believe in moral liberties, yet they reject economic liberties. And then you have people on the far right side of the spectrum, which they believe in economic liberties, but they reject moral liberties. So the question is, what do you believe government ought to or ought not to do? Our government, the Constitutional Republic of the United States, was built upon defending and preserving our natural, unalienable, and God-given rights, which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness or property, to keep what you earn. So the use of government here in our country is to protect liberty from tyranny. And do you think that that's being accomplished? I don't. And I think Ben Franklin would agree with me. His quote, he's quoted on the Statue of Liberty by saying, and I quote, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." End quote. After the 9/11 attacks on America, a lot of Americans felt a strong sense of nationalism, which may have erroneously led them to give up liberties for safety by allowing such things like, for instance, the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act is an act towards defending our country from domestic terrorism. However, it completely undermines our Fourth Amendment rights. It allows for wiretapping of our homes and also nationwide search warrants, unspecific to any location, all without any sort of judicial oversight. It also categorizes terrorism as acts, and I quote, "to influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion," end quote. This is very vague terminology. So again, it gives the government too much freedom and the people too little. The next law that we allow to pass is the National Defense Authorization Act of the fiscal year 2012. In Section 1021, it states the covered persons that may be arrested by the military, detained indefinitely, even abroad, and denied a lawyer without charge is, and I quote, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, or associated forces, end quote. Also very vague terminology. The government has more liberties, the people have none. The next and most recent attack on our liberties is an attack on the Second Amendment. That was the UN Arms Treaty. The main reason we have the Second Amendment is not to hold hunting clubs and to go out and, just practice shooting with, whatever we have. It is stated in the Declaration of Independence. It is so that we are armed and ready to take out a tyrannical government if need be. The next thing that threatens our liberty is most definitely the Federal Reserve. It is either the most or second most important issue today. The Federal Reserve is in bed with big business government, a corporatocracy, and the military-industrial complex to sap all of our wealth of the lower and middle class and bring it up to the government corporatocracy, basically. And after tax revenue and borrowing is not enough for government spending, the Federal Reserve is there to provide the government with more capabilities via quantitative easing. This provides for a huge government to take away our liberties. My next problem is presidential powers. The founding fathers of this country did not want a king. They did not want a dictator. And they put the branches in place to defend our rights from being stripped by some dictator or president or king. But our president, because of these laws and others, can now assassinate American citizens, operate secret military tribunals. He can detain American citizens indefinitely and abroad without trial or jury or charge, without so much as even a phone call. He can wage war by himself. He can send our troops, our men and women, anywhere he wants without the congressional approval. So, at the Constitutional Convention of 1787, our founding fathers put together our country, and one of the three biggest things they wanted to establish is: 1, guarantee free trade among the states; 2, preserve gold and silver as a currency, as legal tender; 3, limit executive war power. And now we have the Interstate Commerce Clause, which regulates free trade among the states. We also have the Federal Reserve, who is counterfeiting money. We also have an out-of-control president executive authority. So the question is, what do you believe government ought or ought not be able to do? And is it even practical or important to protect our liberty from tyranny? Thomas Jefferson once said that if the people fear the government, then there's tyranny. But if the government fears the people, then there is liberty. And that's what I'd like to leave you with today. Thank you.
717. Oh, yeah.